Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Hello. Thank you for watching my videos. It's Mike. It's May 13th, 2009. Here's a little roundup of some of the news I've been watching today, particularly in America. However, General Motors. GM plans to shift overseas production. Now, of course, all the news has been about the impending bankruptcy of General Motors, and a lot of people haven't been noticing the other stuff that's been going on. In particular, General Motors is planning on importing a large number of cars from Japan, South Korea, and China over the next few years. Now, the United Auto Workers are kind of upset about this. UAW Legislative Director Alan Ruther this week sent a letter to members of Congress critical of GM's restructuring plan. Ruther complained about the jump in imports from Japan, South Korea, China, and Mexico, noting that the share of GM's U.S. sales from these countries jumps from 15.5% to 23.5%, equivalent to the output of 4 U.S. assembly plants. Quote, "We believe GM should have an obligation to build in this country the vehicles it will be selling in the U.S. market, thereby maintaining the maximum number of jobs in the U.S." Yeah. GM expects 33% of its vehicles sold in 2009 will be foreign built, about the same amount as in 2014, when it says it will be 34%. Reinhardt and this whole idea about cost of labor seems to be getting things right. Now, something else you may not have noticed, GMAC to provide financing for Chrysler dealers. As part of the new restructuring for Chrysler, GMAC will be allowed to provide funding to the Chrysler dealers. Yes, approved a motion by Chrysler requesting that GMAC, the former financing unit of General Motors Corporation, be allowed to step in and provide wholesale, retail, and other product-related financing for an initial 4-year term. So I guess GMAC is going to be okay. Sort of. Over in France. Luxembourg. Apparently there were a bunch of angry steelworkers who attacked the Luxembourg headquarters of ArcelorMittal, the world's biggest steelmaker, during the company's annual shareholder meeting, setting off smoke bombs and breaking through the front doors in protest at temporary layoffs. Buses had brought 1,000 workers from plants in northern France, Charleroi and Liège in southern Belgium. Some hurled cobblestones. I guess they picked them up outside. Oh look, there's some cobblestones in the road. Dig them up. We'll throw them through the windows. Things are going a little crazy over in Europe. Never mind. What about California? Arnold Schwarzenegger came out and told lawmakers a deficit may swell to $21 billion and threatened that he may be forced to release 40,000 prisoners or lay off 51,000 teachers if voters next week reject 3 budget balancing measures. Of course, it's not actually going to balance the budget, and more than likely these people will still be laid off or paid IOUs or something daft like that. How are they going to pay for this new US budget? And this whole idea about improvements to healthcare. One concept being put forward on the Hill: tax health benefits. So if you currently are receiving health benefits through your employment in the United States, don't be surprised if you suddenly start getting taxed on it to pay for Medicare. Never mind. America threatens trade war with China. From the Telegraph today. The United States is planning to revive a bill that will punish China for artificially boosting its trade through currency manipulation. Currently, this bill being put forward has over 40 co-sponsors. The legislation would impose additional duties on Chinese goods until China allows the yuan to revalue. Apparently, they feel the renminbi is not where it should be. This should prove to be interesting. What has this done? Well, Timothy Geithner is running off to China later this month. Yes. May 30th. for meetings in Beijing, where he'll discuss ways to strengthen relations between China and the United States, the Treasury Department said yesterday. Of course, all of these stories are linked at the side, should you wish to check any of this, or do a little further investigation. Now, what's been happening in the world? Cargo ships treading water off Singapore, waiting for work. Finally, someone in the States is reporting the fact that worldwide trade has declined dramatically. All of these rather large ships, sitting in harbors all over the world, doing nothing. In here we see hundreds of cargo ships, some up to 300,000 tons, with many weighing more than the entire 130-ship Spanish Armada. Why do they mention that? That's just stupid. But anyway, seem to perch on top of the water rather than in it. Their red rudders and bulbous noses submerged when the vessels are loaded, sticking a dozen feet out of the water. Adding a bit of colour to the story, I see. Can't just come out and tell them, nobody's shipping anything anywhere. Sorry. Yep, this whole idea of world trade is kind of in the toilet right now until the world sorts itself out financially. Never mind. China said that its exports nosedived 22.6% in April from a year earlier, while the Philippines said its exports in March were down 30.9%. Ever heard the word or term Codex Alimentarius? I'm not going to link anything here. Go Google it. Start with Codex whatever. Google will find you all the stuff. Today in the New York Times, or rather yesterday, sorry, vitamins found to curb exercise benefits. Apparently there was a research study done in Germany and Boston where they determined that the effects of vitamins on exercise and glucose metabolism, quote, is really quite significant, said Dr. C. Ronald Kahn. If people are trying to exercise, this is blocking the effects of insulin on the metabolic response. Quite interestingly, the very next sentence. The advice does not apply to fruits and vegetables. Even though they are high in antioxidants, the many other substances they contain presumably outweigh any negative effect. This is a load of stuff trying to get people to think that vitamins themselves are bad. But hey, genetically modified food, vegetables and fruit, they're not so bad after all. I wonder who funded this research. A couple of funny stories at the end. Don't mention the Pope's Hitler Youth past, says the Vatican. Did you know that the Pope Benedict, was a member of the Hitler Youth? I was unaware of this. Linked an article over here. In the 1996 book, Salt of the Earth, the Pope told Peter Sewald, a German journalist, "At first we weren't, but when the compulsory Hitler Youth was introduced in 1941, my brother was obliged to join. I was still too young, but later, as a seminarian, I was registered in the Hitler Youth. As soon as I was out of the seminary, I never went back." So he says. And last but not least, from the Sunday Times on the weekend, Bono flashes his BlackBerry in a battle of smartphones. The cool executive tool is now being pitched at the man in the street. Evidently, the new BlackBerries are quite a hit with younger people, taking off quite a lot in Los Angeles, New York, in every age group. So says Chris DeWolf, co-founder of the social networking website MySpace. So, Research in Motion are doing quite well. And more than likely, with his latest advertising campaign and link up with U2, they will be doing even better. Oh, good news. Especially for me. Okay, everyone, have a good day. There will be one more report on what's been happening in the UK. Peace, love, understanding, think about things. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.